The movie you're making me watch today is Good Will Hunting. Jake's choice. Oh, and there's Princess coming on in.
Yeah.
Wow. Shmem Diddy just in time for the movie that you were making me watch today, which was Good Will Hunting.
1997.
7. Directed by Gus Van Sant. Right? No.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Starring
Van Sant.
and written by the two.
Yes. Matt Damon and Ben Affleck.
Starring Matt Damon. What do you think, Jake? This is your choice. Give us your words.
This movie is career defining. That's what I'm going with.
Well, that's an obvious.
It's obvious, but it essentially started Ben Affleck and Matt Damon's career. They were smaller time movie guys. They had small parts, and then I think this was like the peak of Robin Williams' career as well. Same with Gus Van Sant. I think you can think that as well.
This is the peak. Have you ever seen Aladdin?
Yeah, this was a couple years after Aladdin. It just passed Aladdin. Just surpassed it. So
okay,
peak.
Schwartz,
Peak.
welcome.
What's up?
What's your word, you little princess?
I mean, I've been trying to think of a word that's not so obvious, but I can't. And I'm just gonna go uplifting. It's just an uplifting movie.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go unrealistic.
Unrealistic.
Yeah, this movie's bullshit.
Go on.
This movie's all about false dreams and fake hopes and.
See, it's almost like the opposite of It's a Wonderful Life. I think you would like this.
Yeah, I
he
didn't
followed
say I
his
didn't like
dreams.
it.
Okay, but it's bullshit.
No. That's Schwartz's move. Schwartz hated that he had to like help other people.
No, true. But I don't follow why you think it's why do you think it's bullshit? Like, what's unrealistic? Just the characters?
It's bullshit. How he was living his life originally, that's realistic.
But that's the whole thing about the movie. Like, went through. It's a clear coming of age. Like, this is like a definitive type of coming of age. He literally turns 21 at the end of the movie. He literally came of age at the end of the movie. But this is like the perfect like layout of a coming of age. Like he's flawed. He starts realizing through therapy his issues and overcomes them.
And you never see him living any other way than he has the whole movie. Like you never see anything different. So how's that unrealistic?
I mean, we see him getting in the car and driving across country. That's unrealistic. There's no way he's making it from Massachusetts to San Francisco in that fucking hoopty.
I'll give you that. I'll definitely give you that.
Sure.
No way.
That he might have a breakdown. Sure, for sure. Is that the unrealistic part?
Breakdown. The wheels are gonna fall off. He's gonna crash. He's gonna die. He dies on his way there. Someone had to die at the end of this.
Yeah, if he doesn't make it there, it's not gonna work while he's there.
I just, it's a good movie. Go ahead. You want to talk about it? Go ahead. It's a good movie. It's fine. I just thought it was like, all right. You know what it is? It's a good movie.
It's a great movie, in my opinion.
That's it. All right, let's rank it and get out of here.
All right, so the movie, we meet Will Hunting, the main character. Basically, the movie starts with him reading in his room, and his best friend Chucky, played by Ben Affleck, picks him up. It's basically him and Chucky and Casey Affleck and this other dude doing hood rat shit. It's intercut with meeting Gerald Lambeau. He's like a mathematics professor at MIT.
Is this Casey's first movie too?
Is it? No, I think he had like small roles. Like him, like both of the Afflecks were like in like Kevin Smith movies, and so they had smaller roles in Kevin Smith movies. And notice how Kevin Smith was actually in.
They asked Kevin Smith to direct this movie, but he kindly turned it down, saying he wasn't a good enough director.
I saw Kevin Smith's name a few times. I assumed he helped write it.
No, I don't think so. But they asked him to direct it.
Yeah, we don't know that.
No, you can look that up. They definitely asked him to direct it.
I think I heard that. I've heard that story.
We don't know that he didn't help write it.
Oh, yeah, I guess not. Doesn't have any Kevin Smith like type of vibes though, like zero.
Dialogue's
for maybe
good.
Casey.
I mean,
Except for maybe Casey Affleck jerking off. That was pretty hilarious. That was pretty
yeah, I
funny.
think
I
there's some
think-
good humor that maybe he helped with, but who knew? Who knows?
I'm just saying, if I saw the three lined up and they were like, "Who wrote the movie?" I would be like, "Well, definitely Kevin Smith wrote this movie."
Right, but that's the
Yeah,
surprising part. It was mostly Matt and Ben with I think some suggestions from
Also,
other people.
probably mostly Matt. Let's be honest.
Well, that's the joke. But
Well, I mean, I don't know.
He originally came up with the concept. Matt Damon.
I don't
did.
know why you say that. Ben Affleck wrote Argo. Ben Affleck wrote The Town. Ben Affleck wrote Gone Baby Gone. And Matt Damon only wrote one movie since then, which was Last Duel, which he also wrote with Ben Affleck. So I think Ben might be the better writer.
I didn't say who was better. I'm just saying it's
a
not
good
Ben's
argument.
concept.
But originally, it was Matt's concept. If we're talking history of the screenplay, I think I read that it was him and his girlfriend's idea for a while, and then
She married
broke
Lars
up.
Ulrich, by the way.
yeah, I saw that. And so then him and Ben took over the concept and kind of made it into something. And it was going to be like a thriller movie. It was going to be more about like I think the NSA kind of trying to get Matt involved and trying to like pressure him to join the NSA. But then they I think who was it, like Rob Reiner suggested like make it more about the relationship, and like they got some tips from like some director friends, lucky them being friends with a bunch of big name directors when they're in like their mid-20s writing a screenplay, so that helped. But
Yeah, let me just go ask
was
my
still
friend
mostly-
Robbie Rhines.
right, there was like a rumor that like William Goldman for a while like really was the writer of it, but I think he just kind of like gave some suggestions as well with Rob Reiner.
I just think those fucking Massachusetts boys had a little help. That's all I'm saying.
Sure. I mean, I think just them getting a good director and like having some room to improv with a great like Robin Williams, and even Stellan Skarsgård is a fucking legendary actor in his own right.
Let's be honest. Robin Williams is the end all be all of this movie. Without him, this movie's shit.
Yeah, I think so. And they even said they sold it as such, where like they
Yeah.
pitched it to Miramax, like, well, Robin Williams is attached to this. Like they
Yeah.
needed a big name like that.
Well, I read that they asked Kevin Smith to direct it, and he was like, nah, this isn't really my vibe. Like, I really don't direct things I don't write. And he's like, but I'll bring it to Bobby Weinstein and Harvey Weinstein. And
Well, they asked Robbie Rhines first, didn't they?
well,
That's what I
Castle
read.
Rock,
Castle Rock,
the company that Robert Reiner owns, they own the script to it. They bought it, and then they wanted Matt Damon and Ben Affleck to not star in it. They wanted DiCaprio and Brad Pitt back then, and they were like, "Well, you guys are nobodies. You know what I mean? We're not going to produce it with you." And then Kevin Smith brought it to fucking the brothers. The king of Hollywood at that point. And he was like, yeah, I mean, it's a great script. And they were making independent films, and Gus Van Sant just came off of two pretty classic independent films in Drugstore Cowboy and To Die For. So I'm pretty sure
Do you
that's why they chose
think
him.
Kevin Smith performed sexual favors for Harvey Weinstein to get this done?
I don't know, man. Harvey Weinstein produced all the Kevin Smith movies, so
There's a lot of
maybe.
Miramax stuff. Yeah, you never know.
Maybe.
They did it together. They did it together.
Tarantino for sure was rubbing his feet.
If anybody was hooking up with it was Tarantino.
I could see Tarantino
I mean, I know
like just foot massages all day. I mean, the
I
first
just thought it was kind of weird.
I'm frozen.
Robin Williams.
What was Anthony saying? The first what?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Then he stopped.
He stopped like abruptly.
It was weird.
I said one of his first like most famous quotes is about a foot massage. So he was probably talking about
I don't know what
massaging
that was.
fucking
Yeah.
Weinstein. Am I gone? Am I just frozen right now?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not even here.
That opening Pulp Fiction monologue was about Weinstein.
Who knows?
All right. All right.
Not
So
even
go ahead,
the same
Jake.
ballpark.
Tarantino's always been into feet. We can see that.
He knows
has
that,
shot
and he
some-
plays on
some
it. He
sweet
loves it.
feet, so
Do-
everyone knows that.
Do you think he likes Hobbit feet?
I mean,
I
if
don't
he's
know.
sucking Weinstein toes,
Margot
then yeah.
Robbie's feet were pretty dirty in One Upon a Time, so
Yeah, it's true.
like some dirty toes as well.
All right. Keep going, Jay.
All right, so he's doing some hood rat shit. We're also meeting Lambeau. Scenes are intercut with Lambeau's kind of like challenging his students to like solve these crazy mathematic equations. And then eventually we see the Will friends, they're at this little league, and they're fucking around, they're drinking. This guy at this little league game that will a problem with back all the way in kindergarten. So like later in the day, they see him at I think at basketball somewhere. He essentially jumps the guy. He gets charged with like assault, and all the while he was like Will was solving the math equations at MIT because he was there as a janitor. And eventually,
hold on.
discovered this.
So Lambo is a professor there, and he puts this one problem on the wall, this one mathematical problem that's supposedly like impossible to solve. Like all the students there are trying to solve it, and nobody can. And then Matt Damon's character works as a janitor at the place, and he solves it one night. And they all come back the next day, the students and the teachers, and they're like, "Holy shit, who did this?" And no one will admit to it because no one did it, and no one knows it's him. I think that's the most important part of the movie right there.
Yeah. No one knows it's him. Lambo goes on, like, tries to figure out that it's him. Eventually, he does figure out it's him. But while he figures out, Will's also in trouble with the law. So that's kind of why he kind of gets involved with Will in the first place.
Yeah, Will and his friends are fucking like low level people. Let's just be honest, they're lower level guys.
Big retarded gorillas, I believe, is a quote.
Yes, right. That's what he said.
And also, there's like an important scene early on in the movie was like at one point, one of the guys is like working at one of these Harvard bars, and like, so they go up to Harvard bars, and they start mingling with the smart guys. They immediately have confrontation with this one guy, and then this leads Will to meet like the main love interest of the movie, Skylar.
How annoying are people from Boston?
Oh, yeah,
their voices are pretty fucking annoying. I'll tell you that.
I think it's hilarious. It's just.
I'd rather watch Godfather than watch a fucking Boston movie. I like Italians more than I like the Irish, I guess. That's super racist.
Yeah, it's pretty racist.
But they're white, so whatever. I'm sticking with my comment.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, just one voice is more annoying than the other.
Slightly. Continue. So yeah, he's a super smart. My kid's wicked smart.
Yeah, his friend. Yeah. Casey says his friend's wicked smart. Eventually, Skylar meets him.
What I like about the opening like 10-15 minutes is you're pretty drawn into it. Like they're interesting. Like it's interesting what they're doing. I mean, I was when I first saw this movie, I was pretty drawn into it. I didn't know who Ben Affleck or Matt Damon are, but I think they paint the town pretty well. Like I think they do a good job of showing you the lifestyle of like what they are, who they are. Like you're never like wondering like who are these people, which is pretty good. And it does that really well. That's why I think the screenplay is pretty solid. Like no matter who wrote this, whether it's William Goldman, Kevin Smith, Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, whoever did it, they fucking killed it. This screenplay was pretty great. There was no extra things in here to worry about. It was all pretty to the point and on target with what they had.
Yeah, they really were. Everything is like very well drawn out, and like the friendships are like just feels very authentic. That's why you saying it was bullshit earlier, Anthony's kind of surprised me because like
for sure,
like everything felt very like authentic to me. Like it seemed like this is how these people would actually talk, even though I don't know what a genius sounds like when he talks, but it was convincing with these guys.
From Boston, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, just like the friendship seemed real. Just the hood rat shit seemed real. Like just how these guys like acted. It seemed authentic to me.
Maybe I was joking.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a
let's
joke.
Just remind people how much of a hater Anthony Islami is. The ultimate hater.
Maybe I was just hating a little bit. Maybe I hate on this movie and then I make it number 3. You know, who knows?
It's literally what I was just thinking. Like you're gonna talk shit the whole time, and it's gonna rank like number 3. Your list makes no sense to me.
You know what I was talking
about?
Too,
my words make no sense. My list is fine.
I was looking at the list because I was like doing.
God damn it! My internet sucks.
I'm like, man, Anthony loves this movie. Why is it so low on his thing, or why is it so high on his thing?
Because Anthony is a hater for the sake of hating.
Hater from the Himalaya. Hater from the Himalaya.
I think he's frozen. This stupid smirk on his face. well because he was like kind of annoying in this movie, and he's the absolute worst in the. Fucking good at it.
And he went to Harvard.
He went to Harvard.
Yeah, so he knows. He knows how the Harvard
Who went to
gets taught.
Harvard?
Matt Damon went to Harvard.
Yeah, you know who didn't go to Harvard was Robin Williams.
Probably Ben Affleck too. Yeah, Robin Williams' character went to. Well, no, he was. I don't know where did they go? Him and Lambo were roommates
he's
in
from
college.
like Brooks. He went to like MIT or whatever.
MIT, I think. Yeah,
he went
Okay,
to
they were
MIT
both
with
MIT.
Lambert.
Lambo, yeah.
Yeah, whatever, dude. And he's just as smart. He's fucking Matt Damon. That was like it's so beautiful. He is Matt Damon. That's why I was gonna make him find himself. I should have seen this movie years ago, and I probably would have loved it. But I know so much about it.
Robin Williams' performance, though, in this movie is pretty fucking legendary.
Oh yeah.
It's
So let's get
third
back to
best
that. Like
performance.
the reason why
Top 3 for sure.
Lambo gets involved with Will and tries to get him out of trouble. He wants to, do math stuff with him and get him into like some sort of career path. But he also recognizes the fact that like this kid needs therapy. He's got some damage. He's got some trauma. So he goes on like a shrink search for him, which is a pretty entertaining as it goes with him.
Was
like
it Lambo's search to get, or was it Lambo's idea to give him therapy, or was it out of court order?
The judge.
Yeah.
No, the judge was like, yo, if you guys like take this kid under your wing, give him therapy and make sure he doesn't do hood rat shit anymore, we won't fucking put him in jail. That's how they decided.
Yeah, it was an agreement with the court.
Which in my opinion is the only unrealistic thing about this movie. If you were going to pick unrealistic things, which I don't think it is that unrealistic, but out of all the things that happen in this movie, that would be the most unrealistic thing.
Yeah, a teacher went in and was like, yo, let me take care of this kid. I'll put him under my wing.
Yeah.
And then I'll report back to you, court.
That's true. That's a good part.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, like it seems like that's a parole officer's job. It's not like a random fucking
solid,
thing.
Unrealistic things. Go ahead.
What was the first one? The car?
That he's not driving that car across country.
Oh, come on. He's trying.
Also, what an ugly crier Matt Damon is. But no, we'll get there.
Right. So, during the old the search for a shrink is what I'd like to call it. They meet a series of shrinks and psychologists, and it's some laughs, it's some jokes, it's a good time. And eventually they meet Sean, or Robin Williams' character, and eventually, we quickly realize like they're very similar people. Are you frozen, Schwartz? And Anthony is gone. So it's just me here. Uh-oh. Schwartz is gone. And Anthony is gone. So hear me. It's me. Just my podcast. Talking about Robin Williams. All right, fuck it. I'll just keep going. We meet Robin Williams. Will quickly starts to break down. Hey, Schwartz, you're back.
It's me. I'm
It's
back.
you.
Where are we? I'm sorry. My connection's terrible.
It's all good. Everyone's connection seems a little spotty today. I was talking to no one about getting to know Robin Williams, and finally Will meets Robin Williams, and we recognize that they're like similar people, and we quickly start I think we start to realize like Will's problems and like Will's like defense mechanisms and things like that.
Well, we realize how smart Will is right then and there. Also, I was listening the whole time. Now I'm fucking frozen.
Get into a confrontation where Will's trying to kind of break him down, and somehow eventually on like something about his wife. And what Will doesn't know is Robin Williams' wife is dead at this point. So Robin is very defensive of this. So there's a confrontation, and they leave the session for that day, but Robin Williams wants to continue seeing him again.
Let's also paint the whole picture of like Lambo and Robin Williams were like peers for a long time. And Robin Williams, after his wife died, he kind of took a lot of his promise and all the smartness and kind of just tucked it all away and decided to become a little bit of a hermit and not really give a fuck about shit. So I think that's why he chose him for him, honestly, because he saw so much of him in him. You know what I mean?
Lambo said, well, he also went through 5 before he got to Lambo. So I don't think he definitely wasn't his first, or before he got to Sean. So he definitely
Yeah.
wasn't his first choice.
But
But
I
Lambo
think
says later on that even that he is smart. He's smarter than me. He just
Yeah.
didn't apply himself like I
Yeah.
did. He kind of withdrew, and once his wife died, and became a college, like a community college
Community
teacher.
college, yeah. Which, what did he teach? Did he teach psychology? Is that what he was teaching?
He taught psychology, like
Okay.
general
He was.
psychology.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that first
Yeah.
scene with them, that first scene is pretty cool. How none of them talk, and like he knows that it's all about just who's gonna fucking break first. You know, I thought that was pretty
Well, I
dope.
think that's like
Well, the
their like third session because
Yeah,
they first
the
they
first
meet.
scene was with the painting. That first scene was intense when he
Yeah.
first breaks him down, and number one, it was intense just the way that Robin Williams Sean handled that. Also, Matt Damon could have definitely slapped the shit out of him. I thought, or are we led to believe that Robin Williams is kind of a badass?
He
I think
kind of is because there's even
Yeah.
a part where they talk about like the weightlifting thing, and like I think Will realizes like Robin Williams lifts more than him because he shifts the subject. I think is that I don't know if that's when he talks about like having sex
That's
or
when
something.
he
He
goes
starts
to the
bragging about.
painting.
Yeah, no, that's I think that's a whole different time. That might be a different area.
I don't think so.
Maybe though. Maybe it was. Oh, is that way? No, I think you're right. Because I think they talk about. You're right. It is. They talk
He's like,
about
"Do you
weightlifting.
lift weights?" Like, "Yeah." "What do you bench?" It's like 285. "What do you bench?" And then he gets up and he walks over to the painting.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, so we're led to believe that he was telling the truth when he said he could bench like 285 or whatever he said.
Probably, dude. He got big shoulders, dude. He's
I
got
mean,
big chest. Strong
Robin
boy.
Williams got big
Dude,
hair.
he's
He doesn't
strong
have
boy.
big shoulders.
That's all muscle, dude. That's hair. That's
I feel
muscle
like
hair,
it's
dog.
like back in the day. I feel like back in the day, Robin Williams was probably kind of a badass in this movie because he says he's from Southie too, and I think if
Yeah.
you grow up in that town, you're just automatically put into a situation where you're either
A
gonna,
loser. I don't
And he's a
believe that he was
veteran
from
as
Southie
well.
though. I never
He was from
believed
South.
that either.
He was a veteran.
He like
'Cause we
went
see
in
the
and out
picture
of
of
his
as a
accent.
veteran. Yeah. That's
Who,
accurate.
Robin Williams?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that.
Despite all that, still won the Oscar.
I mean, yeah,
He won an Oscar for this?
He did.
He won
Robin
Best
Williams
Supporting
won his
Actor.
Oscar.
Do you think he deserved it?
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah.
He
Who
had
was
the
he
best.
up against?
I
Burt
don't-
Reynolds.
Oh yeah, Burt Reynolds for Boogie Nights. That was pretty good.
Yeah. Greg Kinnear in As Good
Yeah,
as It Gets.
Boogie Nights and this movie came out the same year.
Yeah. And Titanic. All these,
Titanic's
like,
whatever, but I mean,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. Titanic's amazing.
like just
movie.
for like epic,
Yeah,
like
blockbuster,
well-known
but-
movies. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
this
mean,
beat-
those are two movies those are two like non-blockbuster movies. You know, those are two unique movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This beat Boogie Nights for best original screenplay.
Oof.
Yeah. which
Now
is
that I
kinda
know,
cool-
now that
kinda-
I know
kinda
that,
crazy,
now
right?
that I know, I don't know. I think Boogie Nights is a little bit better of a screenplay.
I don't know. I was thinking
Did
about
nobody
that.
watch Titanic?
I'm almost like more compelled every time.
Man,
I've
it
seen
was
this movie
good.
so many times. Like, and I just love the dialogue. I love the story structure, just how it's broken down. Like, even looking at it from like a psychology standpoint, like seeing all these like beats it hits, it's like it's so well written.
No, it is,
And-
and I think that's why it won, is because there was two
Yeah.
people who were nobodies who were like wrote
Yeah.
this pretty amazing screenplay.
Well, young Paul Thomas Anderson wrote a fucking killer movie. He did a
He
great
did.
job. And if he second place, if there was a
Was that
silver
his
medal
first movie?
Oscar,
It was
it
his
was
second movie.
technically second movie, but that's kind of what made him.
It made
who
him
he
him.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah, because then after that, he was able to make Magnolia, which we've talked about, like just this like unlimited budget
Never
epic
heard
that
of
he
it.
was just like able to just do whatever with. So yeah, Paul Thomas Anderson came out that year and killed it as well. But yeah, these guys won the Oscar.
Well, for their first movie, I guess it was right.
Yeah. And all of those guys, to be fair, I think all of them were probably like mid-20s right then when they wrote it. Paul Thomas Anderson, Ben, and Matt Damon, all of them.
I think they were like,
all like.
I think
in the
Paul
mid-20s.
Thompson. I think Paul Thompson was like 27 or 28. I think these guys were a little younger. Yeah,
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, because I think he was like 29 when he made Magnolia. So
yeah.
he probably wrote. They probably all wrote the screenplay
That's true,
like around
wrote it.
20, 25 years old.
Yeah.
Damn, we're
impressive.
fucking up.
Yeah,
Why haven't we
I know.
written a script like at least one good one?
I know.
Dude, writing a script as good as Boogie Nights, that's a feat.
Easy,
That's a feat.
It's easy.
easy, dude. I'll write one tonight. We'll fucking shoot it tomorrow.
It's dialogue, man.
Perfect.
Dialogue's
It
like
is.
the
It's a
hardest shit to
dialogue.
write, and they
It is.
fucking kill it in
That's
this movie.
that's what I kill. That's what I'm good at, dude. That's all I'm good at.
All right, so keep going.
So eventually, Will and Skylar go on a date.
Skylar played
And
by.
Minnie Driver. Just a little English
Name
hottie.
your 5 favorite Minnie Driver movies.
I don't
I don't think I've
really
seen 5 movies
remember
she's in.
other Minnie Driver movies. You think she would have?
Oh, Gross Point Blank. Gross Point
Oh,
Blank. She
yeah.
was good in.
That's a
yeah,
good
well,
movie.
yeah. What happened to
Yeah.
Minnie?
I know the name.
Driver?
I don't know what movie she was in.
What else
I
was
know
she
the
in?
name, but
You're
this
right.
is the
I-
only- I don't-
She was
this-
she was in a TV show for a little while. I don't remember what it was called though.
Yeah,
I
but
think
TV
this and Gross
sucks.
Point Blank. Gross
Yeah.
Point Blank are the only movies I can actually remember her from.
Yeah, I don't know. Whenever
Yeah,
I see her, I
continue.
just immediately think of this movie. Like this is the only thing that really comes to mind when I think Minnie Driver.
So he
Sorry,
meets
Minnie
Minnie Driver in the bar, steals her from one of the
Hollywood bar.
douches,
Yeah,
and then they start quoting things, and then they turn around and they're like, "All right, how do we do with this dude?" And then Matt Damon goes, "Tell you one thing, it's hunting season." Pulls out a shotgun, blasts him away, and then what happened?
that was Good Will Hunting 2. You're jumping ahead.
Yeah, Goodwill
to
Hunting
the,
to hunting season.
to the sequel. Yeah, hunting season.
Oh, my bad.
That's the next movie.
Sorry, we're
He
not
just
talking
he
about that.
just
We're talking about the
he just
accountant.
quotes movies and then he just slaps numbers onto a thing. And he's like, "How you like them apples?" It's the most that clever line
okay,
that's
so-
ever been written.
Do people say that? Was that a saying before this?
I don't know. I
movie?
think this started it. This was the original.
Do you
How
like
them
apples?
How you
How
like
do you
them
like
apples?
them apples? Like why is that number one? Why apples? Is Massachusetts known for apples?
I don't know. I just think he just said it because he thought it was clever, and it's never been said before, and it was clever, and everyone laughed.
Was it clever? How
The
do you
whole
like
wor-
how you like them apples?
The whole world has laughed at that line. Everyone has seen this movie, and everyone has laughed.
I didn't laugh. I
That's-
saw it and
You
I was
did.
like, why would he say that?
That scene has been parodied in a lot of things.
Yeah. You chuckled, and then you were like, "That was weird."
No chuckle. He should have just thrown the middle finger on the window and said, "I got a number."
Yeah, that would have worked.
That was a great
Anyway,
line.
stupid line.
And then eventually, him and Skylar went out and had a great time, and they seemed to like each other a lot. But at first, Will kind of blew her off because it seemed like he was afraid of her getting to know him.
Well, let's be honest. Underneath his exterior of tough guy, he's a big little baby who's kind of a puss.
What?
He's kind
Why?
of a puss.
He's kind of a pussy, especially emotionally. He's kind of just a person who has no idea what the fuck they need or want.
No, it's the fact that he's a victim of abuse, and because of that abuse, he's constantly worried. Like he's treated, or he thinks he's gonna just let people down, because that's what he's been kind of conditioned to
Conditioned.
think his whole life during the abuse, that he wasn't ever good enough, so he was always beaten as a child.
Yeah, so he's
I
emotionally
think
crippled.
calling
like
I
I'm saying.
think
emotionally crippled.
calling him a puss would have been detrimental to the whole point of this entire movie.
Exactly. Yeah. So
He's
that's-
emotionally a puss.
he's traumatized.
Sure, that's fine too. It's another way of saying it.
And because of that trauma is the whole reason
Fucking scumbag.
is
Schwartz.
the whole reason that we have his character arc, and that's explored through
the
his
whole
therapy
point of this
sessions.
movie. This movie's a love story.
Oh,
Let's
I
be
get
honest.
it. I get it.
It's a love story, but it's also this coming of age story. It's like learning about himself, and it's just, I don't know, just like how they
The
broke it
dude's
down.
just a puss. I mean, honestly, I equated a lot of him to you. How you kind of just have your own way of thinking things, your own way of doing things.
Sure.
So,
Yeah,
are you a puss? Are you emotionally a puss?
To an extent, sure.
It's that the fact that he expects failure, like he expects the worst case scenario to happen, so he doesn't excel. He doesn't try to advance himself because he ultimately thinks whatever is going to happen is going to be the worst case scenario. And that's explored in the conversation he has with like Skylar of why when Skylar invites him to California, he's like, oh no, because once you learn this about me, you're not going to like me. And so eventually you're going to end up resenting me because you don't like me. And then you're stuck with me. And like, he just goes to this crazy, like worst case scenario when like,
Yeah. So what does
that's
he do?
not
He gets in a
what's
car. He
gonna
doesn't
happen.
call her. He gets in a car that's not going to make it all the way there. And he tries to go there. By the time he gets there, it's going to take him 5 days. She's going to find someone else. So let's be honest. He's probably right.
Self-sabotaging. And he kind of still does it with the car because you know that fucking car's not going to make it, but he's at least trying now. He's at least leaving Southie. He's trying because he realizes because there's that conversation of like that
what he should have done is
on.
join the goddamn NSA. That's what he should have done.
Well, he doesn't want to do that because again, he has that conversation where he goes into this extremely absurd worst case scenario of like if he solves some code then he like a village gets bombed and then like these people die and then his friend goes over there and gets shrapnel on his ass and then this has to happen and then his friend gets cancer and then like all at the same time there's an oil spill and this and this and that.
I think all that's less likely than that girl finding someone else. That's what I'm saying.
True, but that's all I'm saying. Like he just his head just goes these worst case scenarios. That's his character flaw, and it's just a movie about psychology for the most part. Like it's sure there's the relationship and all that, but there's a lot of just interesting psychology shit in here.
Nah,
no, yeah,
it's a love story. That's what I got.
It's a love story,
it's a love
but
story.
like if you, I don't know, I saw a video that helps me like. Was more on the nose with what I'm trying to say.
I don't care about the video.
It's all there.
You tell me.
I just did. It kind of broke it down in these just how he was, this traumatized character and like why he was traumatized and like how his brain worked because of said trauma.
And why he couldn't find love. And at the end he did.
Yeah, why? Yeah, he couldn't find love because he always put up these blockers. He put up like a wall. Because he would eventually think he's going to let this person down. So instead of letting someone down, he refused to let anyone in. And
beautiful love story.
Yes, it's a love story. It is a good love story.
He couldn't find love. He doesn't find love. Robin Williams convinces him to find love. Robin Williams finds love again. He leaves. He becomes Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yes, he became Mrs. Doubtfire. Yeah. Everyone grew from this. They grew from each other. It was a beautiful relationship.
He grew a big pair of tits.
In the movie called Mrs. Doubtfire.
Great
also,
movie.
Should
we talk about
Columbus,
that a little bit?
Right? Chris Columbus?
Yeah.
Did he write and direct Mrs. Doubtfire?
He did.
What? Chris Columbus might be my favorite director of all time.
I watched
pretty
Rent.
fucking classic movies.
Rent wasn't very good.
Well, yeah, Harry Potter
didn't like Rent?
Was definitely.
I didn't really like the movie Rent.
Harry Potter 2 was definitely Chris Columbus's last great film.
Never saw it.
I mean, Rent was the way Rent's to make that movie. I feel like you don't really have a whole lot of options. It is what it is. He didn't write it.
Yeah, true.
Same with Harry Potter, but like whatever. Maybe you just don't like.
There was It's a Wonderful Life reference in Rent, and I wonder if the It's a Wonderful Life is in the actual play, or if Columbus kind of got that in there because
he also wrote
movies.
He also wrote the screenplays to the Harry Potter movies and Rent, so it was definitely his interpretation of those stories. I mean, yeah, you
I don't
write
know
a
if
screenplay.
Did he write the screenplay to Rent, or did he just take the play?
Rent, I'm not
sure.
You know what I want to see? Harry
see?
Potter, he wrote.
Yeah, Harry Potter's great. He's just talking shit on Rent. I thought Rent was good, but I also never seen the play.
Well, I'm pretty sure Chris Columbus has written almost everything he's directed because he's written a lot of things he hasn't directed too.
Why don't you stop being pretty sure and be 100% sure?
Well, he didn't write.
I'm sure enough.
He didn't write Home Alone. John Hughes wrote Home Alone. Chris Columbus just directed that.
Yeah.
Sometimes he just writes. Sometimes he just
Schwartz.
Sometimes he does both.
I'd say if he's directed 12 movies, he's written 10 of them.
Has he directed 12?
To me.
I don't know how many he's directed.
Probably.
Let's count them. What's your 12 favorite Chris Columbus movies?
Written or directed by?
Direction.
Because he wrote Goonies but didn't direct it, and directed Home Alone but didn't write it, and those are like my two favorites by him.
I'm
But
going
they would
Home
be in different
Alone.
categories technically.
Yeah, fuck the Goonies. Goonies is its own thing. Going Home Alone. Going the Harry Potters.
What about Gremlins? That was a Joe Dante directing, but it was Home Alone written. I mean, not Home Alone written. Chris Columbus written.
That was his first writing.
No. Yeah, no. I'm talking direction. Direction. What
Miss
movie are we talking about
Doubtfire.
today? Miss Doubtfire.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Adventures in
We're
Babysitting.
Whatever, dude.
We're making you watch Mrs. Doubtfire. No, we're talking about Gus Van Sant's Good Will Hunting.
TVS. ZVZ.
Where were we? They were dating.
Gus Van Sant's
Yeah,
career
met
is
him in the
actually a pretty crazy
bars,
career.
She's like, come to California with me, and he's like, nah, I can't do it. I gotta do this or whatever. However they talk. And
You're gonna hate me. I
you're
don't
gonna
love
hate
you.
me. You know,
You're gonna resent
fucking
me.
firefighters a fucking quiz. And then he's like, why don't you go chase a cat up a tree?
But throughout, there's like there's great dialogue in this movie. I really enjoy it. Like the car ride scenes just alone are like just fun. Like when it's like the four guys just like bullshitting in the car.
Yeah, honestly, anything with Ben Affleck's pretty spot on in this movie. Any scene he's in.
I love the scene where like Skylar and they're like telling jokes.
Mm-hmm. And she
it's
tells
like,
the cum joke.
Yeah, and then he tells like that cop joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like all those scenes just seem like very like organic. They just seem like well done to me.
I like
But
when Ben
not
Affleck.
funny jokes. They weren't funny.
I like when Ben
they're funny
Affleck goes to
stories.
the interview for him and he just plays the complete car salesman. That's just
Right.
Funny scene.
That was
good.
the best part of the movie.
I mean, I honestly think the best parts of this movie is any scene between Robin Williams and Matt Damon. All those scenes are definitely the best in the therapy sessions.
They really are.
They're just really, really good. Just acting at like top form.
Top tier acting.
Top tier acting.
For sure. And just script writing.
Yeah, I mean, you need the script in order to get a good movie. You need a great script, but like Robin Williams
Need
is
the
just
script to
so
act.
fucking good. He was so good. Like when he tells a story about Carlton Fisk hitting the home run and he missed it because he was in the bar. That's probably my favorite scene in the movie.
Yeah, see about
That's a
girl.
good story.
Yeah, it's a good story.
I
Even
didn't
though I
get the last line until I watched it again. I forgot he said that in that story.
You got to see about a girl. That's the greatest way to end that movie too. He's like, "Son of a bitch stole my line." That was such a good way to end it.
Apparently, that was improv as well. From
I mean, of course it was.
Robbie Williams.
Robin Williams, he's the goddamn genie.
He's great. Yeah, he's great. Top tier.
Robin Williams was nominated a bunch of times before this too, and never won. And people were like, "Damn, man, when is he gonna get it?" And he finally got it.
Well, is it? I was wondering this myself. Like, is it? Do you think because he was more the lead role in those movies, like maybe he's a better like supporting actor? Because I think he was on it for what, like good or not good Dead Poet Society, and then like Good Morning Vietnam
and Awakenings, I think too, right?
Awakenings. Yeah, was he lead or was he supporting in that? I don't
I think he was lead and De Niro was supporting, but it could have been both lead. I'm not sure. I think what it was is that he had the thing of that he was a comedian trying to do dramatic stuff, and he did a lot of dramatic stuff, and people were like, "Damn, he's good." But there's a lot of hesitance to give people like that trophies because they aren't considered to be that good of dramatic actors, but they prove people wrong. Like, look how good Jim Carrey is. Like,
he's
never
one of
been
the
best
best
actors ever. I
Not
know
even
he's
nominated.
never been
It's
nominated.
crazy.
His performances are so good.
Yeah, there's been so many good movies that have just been overlooked.
Yeah, but a lot of times that comedians don't get it. But Robin Williams was by this time, by 1997, people didn't look at him as just a comedian. People just looked at him as a fucking like an actor. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there was the Fisher King as well. I think he got
It's
nominated.
a great
for that.
movie.
The
That's a
Fisher King
great
was dope.
fucking movie. That's
Really like
actually
that
on my
movie.
list. That's gonna be on my list to watch.
I've always kind of
We haven't watched the Terry Gilliam
that one
movie
as
yet.
well. Yeah,
And we've all seen like
on there.
Fear and Loathing, so that would be my first pick. But we've all seen it.
Have you seen a Fisher King or the Fisher King, Anthony?
I think so.
Okay, crazy homeless Robin Williams and then Jeff Daniels.
No, Jeff Bridges,
No.
the dude.
Jeff Bridges.
No, I've not seen the
Mix
Fisher King.
Those bastards.
Yeah,
up.
it's a good movie. It's like 1993 or something.
Sean Connery's not in that movie.
No.
No.
You're thinking of what's the Sean Connery movie that
Anton Fisher.
And no, you're thinking of Finding Forrester, which is also directed by Gus Van Sant.
Finding
Oh, yeah.
Forrester.
That's
is
a
what
great
I'm
movie.
thinking.
You're the man now, dog.
You're the man now, dog. Yeah,
That's one of Gus Van Sant's top 3 movies, in my opinion. I think this movie, To Die For, and that are probably the 3 best Gus Van Sant movies, followed by Drugstore Cowboy, and You Won't Get That Far on Foot.
Yeah, Don't Get Far on Foot's really good.
I actually think you should have chose that, man. That acting in that movie is so ridiculous.
I've just always loved it's a great movie. It's absolutely a great movie. But this has always been just one of my favorite movies. And like
It's a great movie.
Wanted to explore just like why I like it so much because I never really thought about it that much. I just kind of always just enjoyed it. It's it's a movie I can just put on and watch like anytime.
I also think the age you were when you saw this movie, you were probably getting into movies and you were probably like, damn, that's a good fucking movie. You know what I
think
mean?
so. I think so.
That
Yeah.
happened to me a lot with a lot of things.
Yeah, in '97, I'm sure this was like a really good movie. I mean, it's still a good movie, but like, you know, maybe it's just hyped up for me. It was just hyped up. Everyone's like, this is the best movie in the world. Oh my god! I'm just like, all right, this is all right.
The movie that did that for me, that made me think about movies in a different way, was The Game. Fincher's movie, The Game, with Michael Douglas. That also came out in 1997. And when I saw that movie, I was like, damn, like that's cool. First movie I ever saw like that. I think that's why Fincher's my favorite director, because of the gravity of that, where I saw you can make like a dark movie like that and still be like really, really entertaining and really well done. Obviously, I was only fucking 10 years old when I saw it, so it's like it's kind of
right,
you know.
Yeah, I remember like seeing this movie in theaters, like with my dad. Like surprisingly remember seeing it. Like,
that's probably another reason why you love it, because of that reason right there.
Yeah, and then I remember even watching the Oscars and like watching like Ben Affleck and Matt Damon win, and like it being like a big moment because these like young dudes.
Because Matt Damon never had a dad.
Win, it seemed like. Yeah, no dad Damon is what they called him.
Really?
You know, Snow Dad is better than No Dad.
That's what they say.
Snow Dad.
Yes, Snow Dad.
It's from
No Dad.
It's from Jack Frost starring
Jack Frost, not the horror movie.
Yeah, he says that in the movie. It's pretty dumb.
I just watched it. It's a really dumb movie.
You watched that movie?
I mean, I've seen it before. It's a staple. It's a classic.
Yeah, I guess.
But it's not good. It's terrible, actually.
Yeah. Michael Keaton had a 6 or 7 year span where he kind of just made do.
Yeah, he's great now.
He's great now. Yeah. I mean, Jackie Brown was mixed in there, so he mixed that in there pretty good. That's probably one of my favorite roles.
I always think his loss for not winning for Birdman or an Oscar,
God.
That's always like one of my like biggest
crazy.
Like, that's like one of the biggest steals in my opinion.
The 2 biggest steals in my opinion that I've been Eddie Raymore for playing Stephen Hawking.
Yeah. Idiot.
Which he was great. He was great. Yeah. He was awesome. He was great. But what's his name deserved it. And I think the two, in my opinion, the 2 biggest snubs I've ever seen are that and Tarantino losing for Inglourious Bastards, screenplay for Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah. Because everything that year,
no matter how great
that year for Inglourious Bastards, honestly.
I mean, sure, Hurt Locker, great movie. Give her the director, give it Best Picture, but you cannot tell me that screenplay was better than Inglourious Bastards, my dude.
But he loved war more than he loved his family.
Inglourious Bastards was probably Tarantino's best screenplay besides for Pulp Fiction.
What year did did Hurt Locker win?
2010 or 2011?
I think it was the for the 09 for like the movies that came out in 2009, so it would have been like the 2010 Oscars, because that was also Avatar year, and a lot of people thought Avatar was going to win everything, but ended up Hurt Locker ended up winning everything.
Yeah.
Fucking Bigelow.
Yeah,
wasn't she married to Avatar?
Yeah,
she was. Yeah, they were. I think they were exes at the time. They were ex lovers or ex marriage.
You think they're still banging?
I don't know.
I haven't really thought about that.
I'm asking.
Do you think James Cameron's banging in virtual reality? That's the better question.
Who I don't even understand how
James need to go to virtual reality to bang, dude. He'll bang in a submarine.
I really, 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 really hope James Cameron has banged someone in a submarine as low as they
I'm
could go.
almost sure as he
I
Because
has.
I
hope
know
so.
me personally, I would have done that.
I think he had to go by himself in his submarine. So at least I hope he jerked off at the bottom of the Marianas.
Yeah, me too. I hope he took a picture of it splattered on the window.
Blue load. I wonder if it was like if the compression would have stunted it, like
Made it into a baby automatically. He comes and all of a
like
sudden.
I wonder how big your dick is at 2 miles below the water.
I don't know, man. If we ever meet Mr.
Pressure's
Cameron,
all-
those are
pressure's all
the first
weird.
questions we got.
Weird pressure
You know-
down there.
His submarine shrank like 5 inches or something when
Well,
they
them
got down.
shrinks.
Like that's insane.
Well, then his dick definitely shrunk a little bit.
If there was a crack in one of those fucking one of those windows, he would have just been a pink mist.
Dude, imagine that. That would have been a great way
Imagine, like while he's beaten off,
to go.
there's like a white mist and then a pink mist.
Oh my god, that's
The
so
cum
funny.
hits the window, it just shatters it.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
Poor James.
Poor
Anyways,
James.
yeah, he got,
What do you mean,
got
poor
snubbed.
James? That guy's rich, doing whatever he wants. That guy's living the life.
guy's jerking off at the lowest
Jerking off,
part of the earth.
jerking off in the Mariana Trench.
You think he's thinking of Catherine?
I don't know.
No way, dude.
No,
Probably
he was-
sometimes.
He was
Probably
Way
thinking,
hotter
sometimes.
chicks than Catherine.
he was thinking of Jessica Alba and Angel because he produced that too.
Yeah. Dark Angel.
Dark
Oof.
Angel, yeah.
That was a good show.
Yeah.
Good show.
about
Only
that
2
one.
seasons of that, or 3 seasons of that.
I think it was one season.
Was it only one?
I think
Oh,
so.
I loved that show. How
Thought
did
it
I
was
love it
two.
for just one season?
Maybe it is two. I don't know.
Wasn't very long though. I don't know what happened.
Anyway,
Eyes
keep
only,
going.
dude.
Box.
Keep going, Jake.
All right, so yeah, they met, they dated, they went to therapy. There was a state
Wait, what?
trooper joke. We learn about Will being the self-saboteur that he is. We find out about his abuse, and we find out there was the pivotal "It's not your fault" scene.
Yeah,
I
great
think this
scene.
is after, but this
I think
is
that's what
after-
Schwartz was talking about when he was calling him a little bitch.
Yeah, this is after like Skylar does leave. She goes to California, despite Will trying to, or Will pretty much pushes her away. So Skylar leaves, goes to California. Will doesn't take the job at the NSA. Yeah, and then he eventually finishes therapy, but he learns it's not his fault. You get the "it's not your fault" scene.
He learns it's not his fault.
I mean, what's not his fault?
It's like it in that stage he like goes through all like the phases of it, everything. He like pushes them away, tries to like put up a wall, and eventually breaks down, man. He realizes it's not his fault. All the abuse that he went through,
That's a powerful scene. That's a pretty
Yeah.
powerful scene.
the abuse, the trauma is not his fault. And it's important for him to realize that, because once he realizes that, he can forgive himself, then he can follow his dreams.
Yeah,
Listen,
once he forgives
California.
himself, is it from that point on everything his fault? When does the
Nah,
motherfucker take ownership?
just
That's
find
all I
out.
want to know.
Because
I'm
there's the
pretty
part
sure
where
right
he
there.
talks about how it's like he doesn't want to pursue the relationship because he doesn't want to like fail. So Will kind of calls Sean out on the fact, this is a little earlier, that like Sean doesn't want to meet another woman in his life because like his wife's already dead. So he's also kind of calling him the same shit, like, if I have to follow my dreams, why don't you keep going? Why don't you keep living? Like, living is important. That's
Yeah.
sort of like what Sean tries to instill in him, that like he doesn't know. Even early on, he's like, you don't know shit, you're just a kid. Like Will hasn't lived. Like he needs to go live his life.
I didn't realize that he was only 20 in this movie. I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
Yeah, because at the very end he turns.
Well, we
he turns
also-
21 and
we kinda
peaces
missed,
out, and he has the car and
like,
he leaves.
One of the other pivotal scenes, which is Mr. Affleck telling him,
Yeah.
Mr. Affleck's the one that turned him around.
Yeah.
His boy Squeaky, or whatever his name was, he was the one that said,
Chucky.
he said, his boy fucking Chappie was like, yo,
Number one gangster robot.
you don't fucking do it. You don't do it. You're disrespecting me, kid. Like he says shit like that. And he's like, don't do it for you. Do it for us. Do it for
Yeah.
us.
I think
That's
he
what
was
turns
like,
him around. I think that's yes, the once he starts crying and shit, like that's important. That's when he really sinks in. But I think what changed his mind is his best friend saying the truth to him.
Yeah, you're right.
Saying
I think
that
it's a
10
combo
seconds
of
I
it
walk
both,
up
but
to your
yeah.
goddamn door. I hope you're not goddamn there. And I hope you left. And I hope you're doing
Yeah.
bigger and better things. I don't know if that's the way I would have taken off. I mean, after he said that, yeah, it's a cute thing to do, but I would have said bye.
I mean, it's a movie though. It adds way more coolness to the
No.
movie.
Bro, they're
Yeah.
Irish. It's called the Irish goodbye. That's what
true,
they
too.
do.
That's
how
racist.
they roll.
I think what's cool about this movie too is the relationship between Robin Williams and Matt Damon, because like we said earlier, like it's alluded that Robin Williams probably came up very similar to this, and that's why he relates to him so much. But like, not only does Matt Damon open up because of him, but he also opens up because of Matt Damon. I think that scene in the park where they meet in the park and he tells him like, hey, you may know art, but you've never seen the Mona Lisa. You may know music, but you've never seen a concert. Like I think that to me is the scene that won Robin Williams the Oscar. Honestly, that was a great scene.
That was that little monologue he had was pretty great.
It was pretty awesome.
Park
It's
when-
like
yeah,
throughout, like just throughout, Robin Williams killed it. But yeah, I think that one in particular.
One of the
And when he gets
interviews
a good chunk of time.
I saw said that was a verbatim. There was zero improv or anything in that. It was
Yeah.
a verbatim speech.
Yeah, which was a
by
great
Mr.
speech.
Damone.
Great fucking speech.
Yeah.
Great fucking speech. I mean,
Yeah,
even the
sounds
way
like
that
something my
movie,
dad would say.
even the way that movie was shot was pretty. That scene was shot was pretty epic. Like, there's a lot of ways you could have shot that, but it was really done well. I guess editing was what made that really
The camera, there was interesting camera moves, especially during the scenes where they were talking. The Robin Williams and Matt Damon of crossing over the going behind.
well. Like the camera moving behind
the
him.
camera's moving behind the head,
Mhm.
starting on the right side, ending on the left side.
Mhm.
You don't see that very often, and I enjoy that.
Yeah. This movie was kind of like the perfect storm in that like new actors and writers that were coming up. Like Gus Van Sant, the director, was like, this is his career defining movie after he made two really, really good independent films. And then obviously, like you said, you got Robin Williams firing on all cylinders. Like, I don't know if this is peak Matt Damon or peak Gus Van Sant because they were coming up, but this is definitely peak Robin Williams.
No, this is like the beginning of Matt Damon, and
Yeah.
this could be maybe peak Van Zandt. Maybe it's hard to say because he
you
had
ever
a few
seen
good
Born
years.
Identity?
He had some good years after them with Van Zandt. Because he made just interesting choices. He made like that Death trilogy, if you're familiar with it,
Which one's? Oh yeah, like
where it was
Elephant,
like Elephant was like
Ken Park or whatever.
like basically after Columbine, and then there was a movie called Jerry that
Elephant
was
is
him.
a remake, believe it or not.
It is. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Interesting. And then
I've,
there was
I've
one about
actually seen the
Cobain.
original. It's literally like 22 minutes.
Yeah,
It's
last-
20 minutes short.
Last Days was the Kurt Cobain one.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Jerry was written by Matt Damon and Casey Affleck, and it stars them. It's just them walking
Yep.
around a fucking desert for like an hour and a half. I've seen that
Yeah.
movie. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's all right, but that's also based on a true story because there was like a case where a friend like murdered his friend in the desert because his friend was like dying. It was kind of like the
Mm.
argument for euthanasia. So like I think he
Oh, okay.
wanted to make a movie about that, or they wanted to make a movie about that. So
Okay.
that was what that was based
Can we
on.
just
So all
write a
three of those
bad
movies
movie
were-
and fucking film it, please?
Yeah, we should write a bad movie and make it look kind of mediocre but kind of cool.
And
looking at
have
the same
three
time,
idiots
and-
like us being like, you know what? I thought it was all right.
these movies, like they work. Like look at the Duplass brothers. Look at like Joe Swanberg and those guys. Like
Okay. Well,
like those.
no
like,
offense to the Duplass brothers, but Gus Van Sant's movies are miles better.
They are, but I'm saying like if you go on that
Kilometers.
approach, where it's still very doable. To
Yeah,
make
no, for
something
sure.
Like that.
I
It's
think
all about
Creep.
the script.
I
yeah.
think those Creep movies were
yeah.
pretty great movies. Those are genius.
For
horror
sure.
movies.
Exactly. Creep movie, like great compelling story,
Debatable.
and it's like very simply made.
Yes, and it's very, very, very creepy.
Yeah.
That's this
Just
movie.
the-
This movie's a decently compelling story and it's very simply made.
Yeah, but it's got really good dialogue and really good actors.
The actors is what makes it. Yeah, dialogue's great, but if it didn't have Robbie Wills and
Yeah.
Mr.
I'll give it that.
Sorkin or Sorensen, whatever his name is.
Robin Williams definitely is the catalyst for this movie being as good as it is.
What do you guys think the budget was? I'm looking at it right now.
I think it was like 8 to
21
10.
million.
I think it was like 8 to 10 million.
21.
It was 10 mil.
Yeah. And it
But
made like 220.
Yeah, 225
Yeah, that's a fucking success right there.
million dollars. Yeah,
That's a
225 at the
success.
box office. Goddamn.
Yeah.
Nice job, boys.
So they got to make another movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. This guy's
So,
only made a few.
so wait,
after
Ben
that.
Affleck and Matt Damon had a pretty good career after that, huh?
I guess, yeah. What else were they in?
They ended up doing all right.
Yeah, they ended up doing okay.
We just got Batman and Jason Bourne over here. That's about it.
All right, who's better? Who's better, Ben Affleck or Matt Damon?
Okay, so if you would have asked me a couple years ago, I would have said Damon all the way, but now it's definitely Ben Affleck as a filmmaker. Ben Affleck's a better filmmaker.
Yeah, it depends on what you're asking, I think.
I think as an
Who's
actor,
better? I'm just saying, who's better?
I think as an actor, Matt Damon may have played better roles, but I think as a director, Ben Affleck's pretty good because The Town, Gone Baby Gone, and Argo
Let's be
are
honest.
pretty great movies.
Affleck's a terrible actor. Damon's probably not a good director. We will never know.
Sure. We'll never know unless he
Yeah, he
directs.
still hasn't directed.
Yeah.
I've
He's gonna die
asked
before
him.
he does.
I've asked him to
I
his
went and
face
saw-
if he's going to direct.
I
ever.
asked an 8-ball. You asked him
Said-
to his face?
I asked him. I'm like, "Are you going to direct? What's going on? Like, you're producing shit, you're writing shit. What's up? Are you directing or what?" Ben
I don't
did
think
it. You
I don't
doing
think
it?
he will. I think if you want to do that,
And what did he say?
And he's just like, I considered it, and ultimately, I like the producer role, and blah 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 blah.
And where were you when you were hanging out with Mr. Damon?
I was in a auditorium full of people after the screening of Manchester by the Sea. I think Schwartz was with me,
I was.
and
I do remember you
Damon was
asking him this
Q&A.
question. I forgot about that. It
Yep.
was me, you, and Justin. I totally
Yeah.
forgot about that. Wow, I totally forgot about that. You did ask him that.
Because he was.
I remember
go-
you
he-
raised your hand. And I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh man, what's he gonna ask?"
because he considered directing Manchester by the Sea, and I.
Well,
I
he
remember, like,
also
reading about
he
that.
also was going to star in Manchester by the Sea
Yeah.
and passed it along to Casey, which Matt Damon probably won the Oscar too, because whoever played that part was going to win the Oscar.
Yeah, he still produced it, and that was kind of
Yeah.
it. He's just been producing and acting,
Yeah,
and he just prefers those roles, I guess.
dude, directing's a fucking hard job. If you're
For
not
sure.
trying to do it, there's no point in doing it.
Yeah, I'm not trying to do it. I get it. It's hard.
I could do it.
Anyway,
Let's do it.
I'll do it, dude. I'll direct whatever you want.
Fucking do it, bro.
I'm fucking savage.
Let's go.
what were we saying though? Who do you think's the best actor, Anthony? Who do you think's better?
Actor?
Just overall, I guess. What was your question? Was it overall or was it actor?
I don't know. I just said who's better.
It's hard as I think it was the
better?
same answer. Like, Matt Damon's a better actor, but
Who would you rather kiss on the
Matt
mouth?
Affleck has been impressive in some roles.
Yeah,
but
he's good.
I think
I'm
Matt
kissing
Damon
Matt Damon.
throughout, he's a better actor, but Ben Affleck is a great director. I've liked most of his movies
hmm
that he's directed, and I think he's done a good job.
He's also
On-
pulling.
Gone
Miss
Baby
Jennifer.
Gone. Gone Baby Gone is definitely his best film as a director, in my opinion. That's a great movie. When you talk about like crime thrillers, mystery crime movies, that's pretty fucking great. The Town's good, but the Town's really good, but The Town is sometimes just a little bit on the nose with how it works out.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
But
Yeah,
sounds like
Gone-
all right. Yeah.
Gone
that's
Baby
good.
Gone's
That's
pretty
Gone
glad
Baby
how
Gone's
that ended.
really good. Gone
Pretty
Baby Gone's
wild
really
ride,
fucking good.
yeah.
And I think what it is Casey Affleck was the star, so like he didn't have to do everything. You know what I mean?
yeah. They're all
Casey's
he's
good.
He's good filmmaker, good director. For
I
sure.
think Casey's a better actor than both of them, honestly.
Casey's great.
Yeah.
Casey's not Jason Bourne, so I don't know how we can have that argument.
If you want to
Yeah.
go by Oscar situations, he's the only one with an acting Academy Award above
is true.
out of all those three.
That is true.
All right. Okay. Let's not go by that.
If we're going by Oscar,
Let's go by something else. Let's go by what is Anthony's favorite movie, and it's The Bourne Identity.
You know, here's something
He's
crazy.
probably the best
I've never,
action guy.
I've never seen any of the Bourne movies. They look to do.
I don't think I've seen any
They're
of them
definitely
either.
not to do.
I don't
They're
know.
good.
They weren't doing it for me.
It's one of those,
Honestly,
like, I've
after
seen parts
John
of them,
Wick,
but I've
now that
never
John
watched
Wick's a
them,
thing,
maybe.
I mean, Bourne could go fuck himself, but before John Wick, Bourne
All
movies
right.
were great. Bourne movies is what
John
took
Wick
like
is
Gun
one of the
Kudo and that kind of like that over edited, quick cuts. Like the Bourne movies did take that over the limit. First one was good, but it got crazy where it's like I don't even know what's going on. Like this action scene's cut so insanely. I'm number one, I'm motion sick. Number two, I don't know who's where, and I don't know who's winning.
Yeah. Yeah. They have 4 of those movies, right?
There's 3 with Damon, and then there's like
And
3
one with
more
Jeremy
with
Renner. I think there's
Renner.
one with Jeremy Renner. Just one.
Just one? No,
I think
he's
so,
the
but
new,
I'm not sure.
he's the new Hassan Bourne.
Yeah. I think the
That's the
newest
same
one, the newest one was Matt Damon. I think it went Damon, Renner, Damon.
Damon had 3.
Yeah, I think he did the first 2 and the 4th one.
No, he had 3 in a row before Jenner.
Well, then there's 5 of them.
There must be 5.
Yeah, because he's got the new one.
If he came
Jason
back, yeah.
Bourne. Yeah.
Because there's the Bourne Identity, the Bourne the Bourne Ultimatum, and the Bourne Supremacy. Those
And then
are
there's
all Damon.
And then there's the newest one is Jason Bourne, which is also Damon.
So there's no doubt that his name is Demon. Do you think he's a Satanist?
I mean,
I don't know. Didn't you have a theory he was a ghost in this movie?
Who? Matt
Also,
Damon?
is Robin Williams dead the whole time? Does he even exist? Can we have this conversation?
I don't know, man.
I mean,
Can we?
2 separate people in different scenes talk to him, so independently. So I think
one introduces him to the other, so maybe he's introducing him to a figment of imagination. I mean, the first few scenes, they're not saying anything. He doesn't even accept that there's a real person there until finally he kind of gives in. He starts talking. Who's he talking to? Is he talking to himself?
Is that what ghosting means? Is that when you introduce someone to a ghost?
His wife, the fart jokes, like those are not funny jokes, and they were laughing their asses off. Like what's going on there?
I mean,
those are genuine
that's
laughs.
just an endearing
They were
thing.
laughing
That's
their
just an
asses off, and
endearing
none
thing.
of that was funny. None of it. It was
Having a
not
good
funny. My wife
conversation with
farted in
truck
her
one.
sleep. Like if I was like, oh yeah, my wife farts in her sleep. You guys aren't laughing. Like it's not. They were laughing their asses off. I
Yeah,
bet
but
he was
that's
laughing
I
at
think
something
we're
else.
in a good space.
But that's
I think
because
we're in
of
a
the
good right
situation
mood.
they were in. They were sharing feelings and telling things you don't want to tell people. That's something that like you don't really share with people because it's very close to the heart. You know what I mean? And he told him something that he probably never told anybody else.
Ugh, I get it. Oh, I'm being vulnerable. I get it. I get the idea. But it wasn't funny. Like Robin Williams says some funny fucking shit. And that wasn't very funny. Couldn't you just think of something else? Think of something funnier?
I mean, I think in that instance, it wasn't about being funny. It was about being like opening up and being endearing.
But they were laughing.
I would have laughed at that. If you told me that in that situation where we're fucking talking about me being an emotional puss, I'd laugh a lot about that.
You're an emotional puss. Now laugh.
I would laugh if you told me a joke like that. Tell me a joke like that.
You're an emotional puss.
All right, keep going. Where were we? Got him. Got him, City.
him. What else? Did you
What
guys
else,
even
Jake?
like this movie?
I love this movie.
You want to know how much I like this movie? I like this movie so much, and I've seen it so much, I didn't even watch it. I've seen it probably 5 times, and the last time I saw it was over a year ago.
Hey, good effort, Schwartz.
I know everything about this movie I need to know. I've seen this movie so many times.
I've seen it a bunch of times, but I
Yeah.
still watched it.
I started to watch it. I got 20 minutes in. And I was like, I've seen this so many times. I don't even need to see this.
All right.
So you started watching it. You got so bored, you shut it off.
It's not that I got bored. It's just I didn't have to watch it to have a conversation about it.
It's always a nice.
But you didn't want to
Reminder.
watch it.
No, I've seen it too many times. I don't need to.
So
Too many.
it's such not a good movie. You decided not to watch it again.
I love it so much. I was excited to watch it.
It is such
again.
a good movie that I've seen it probably 5 or 6 times and there was no need to.
And you decided not to watch it.
Yep.
I've probably seen this movie like 20 times.
20? Damn, that's a lot.
Probably.
I think I've seen Face Off probably like 20 times. when I
I've
was a
probably
kid.
watched this.
I watched
And
it so
yet
many
you
times.
you watched that before the podcast.
I watched some of it, yeah.
So this movie sucks. Goodwill
No,
Hunting
this
is not a
movie's
good movie.
really good. It's just different than Face Off. Like Face Off, you got to go back and remember like all the cool little things and everything, and all the cool action sequences and all the little things you want to remember. But this is like, I can talk about it scene for scene. Anyway, keep going, Jake. Where are we?
I mean, I think it's over.
We were at the end. I think. Yeah, they did the not your fault.
Movie's over.
It wasn't his fault, and then he drove. Then Chucky went to his house, and he wasn't there, and he was happy. And also, Sean kind of learned from this experience and decided he needed a break as well, so he took a break. Will left. Credits rolled. Classic driving away while credits roll. Cliche, even though I love it every time I see it.
All right.
Over. The end of the movie.
All right. Good movie.
Rocked. It ruled. Loved it. Who doesn't love this movie?
How do you like them apples?
I love them apples.
I like green apples. They're the best ones.
I had a green apple.
I mean,
today.
I could talk about the movie, but I'm not gonna watch it again. Probably
Yeah,
just like Schwartz, seen it enough.
I have. I've seen it a lot.
Don't need to see it again.
Nope. 5 or 6 times.
Not even for the podcast.
is good. 5 or 6
Pro-
times is
I
good.
probably watch it yearly.
The next movie, I'm just not gonna watch. We'll just talk about it. I'm just gonna talk about it.
Hey man, if you can stay in the conversation, be my guest.
Oh, thanks. Thank you for your acceptance of that.
Hey man, when you need it, I got it.
I need full input at all times and full effort from everyone.
Oh, full
Hey
effort,
man,
dude.
I
No
can
problem.
talk about anything you want from this movie.
All right.
So where are we ranking it?
Go ahead.
I'm
What do you
going-
want to talk about?
What do you want to talk about?
I'm done. I done been done with this movie.
All right, I'm putting this at 31.
31.
48.
All right. Damn.
Yeah, right above blue. Right above blue.
Where you going, Jake? I'm thinking this is in Jake's top 10.
It's definitely my top 10.
Yeah. You know what?
Well-
Actually, for sheer magnitude of this movie and what it did for a lot of people's careers, I'm going 25. Put me at 25.
25. All right.
A lot of people's careers.
Yeah, I mean, this made Gus Van Sant a house name. It made Damon and Affleck a house name. It gave Robin Williams an Oscar. A lot of good things.
Anthony, what'd you say
All right,
yours
cool.
was?
I'll go up one. 47.
Nice. As respect to Robin Williams.
I'm kidding. 48.
47? 48. All right.
48. Right below Deer Hunter.
Wait, Deer Hunter's 49 on your list?
47.
I thought you said you had a good list.
Your list is
Your list is to do.
That's not what I'm seeing on your list.
Oh, he's probably looking at the fucking list of what order we watched.
No, that's my list. 47. Deer
what an
Hunter.
idiot.
48. This movie. 49. Blue Velvet.
I see your Deer Hunter as 51.
Ah,
you're looking at the wrong number, idiot.
Am I? I don't think I am. Pretty sure that's the rank numbers.
Look harder. Look with your special eyes.
My special eyes.
Deer Hunter? What are you talking about? 47.
I don't know how we're looking at the same thing because I see 51. Oh well.
Stand by. Maybe I'm not connected to the internet. It's not updating.
Could be.
All right, well, I'm glad we choose this.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a fucking riveting
I'm
one,
just
boys.
gonna go number 2.
Number 2.
Yep. We go number 2.
Holy shit.
Oh, now your list looks super weird. Anthony.
Holy shit. Something happened. Everything just exploded.
Uh-oh.
Oh, God. I didn't do any of that. Well, my list is just deleted. My list just got deleted.
Let's just all use my list. It's the best one anyway.
My list just got deleted. Bye-bye list.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Make Me Watch Movies. That was Good Will Hunting. Next week, we're watching Quentin Tarantino's classic Death Proof because Jake's whack ass ain't never seen it. Or he's seen it and forgot it. But either way, he's whack and everybody hates him like I do. So listen to it.
And follow us on Instagram, MMwM_podcast. And follow Josh on Instagram. What's your Instagram, Josh? Josh Nathan. @Josh Nathan on Instagram. Bye.